Buy it for life! Yes, that is right, you heard me. Buy something and never buy it again for the rest of your life. That is what a community of over 450,000 people have dedicated themselves to on Reddit. And we are going to be checking out some of the best ones that Reddit has to offer today. The world's oldest pair of Levi jeans, over 130 years old, were found in a mine. Super duper cool. Also, you may notice there is a rivet right there. And apparently they got rid of the rivet right there because it would get really hot when standing in front of a fire. And that's why they changed the design and got rid of that rivet and used just normal thread to keep that part together. An old World War II era refrigerator still looks good, still looks phenomenal. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. This thing looks great. Whoa, this image is really high res, but yeah, it's probably extremely inefficient, but it works great. This is a thermos used every day for 48 years versus a thermos that was brand new. Pretty cool. An 80-year-old cast iron skillet. Who would have seen this coming? Nobody. Nobody didn't see this coming. Cast iron skillet, of course these things are gonna last. 80 years old. Doesn't look any different from the one that I use. Basically just a giant hunk of metal. These things will not break. I mean these pans will probably last like forever, basically, as long as you keep washing them and keep cleaning them. I don't think these are gonna go away anytime soon. A knife from the 1800s, still used daily. But the thing is, with this knife, a lot of people in the comments seem to think that it is a file that was sharpened into a knife. And it's obviously very, very old because the ridges of the file are completely gone, and it's very likely that the handle has been replaced. The ring that was used to keep it in place better, that was supposed to be right here, is actually missing. You can see the indent of where a ring's supposed to be. And this was apparently done because files were a good source of metal for blades, and they're just as good as any other metal that would be used to make a blade for whatever purpose. A 27-year-old Hoover vacuum, kept in pretty good shape. An old pepper grinder from the 30s that some guy's grandparents used to own. But some people are saying that this is actually supposed to be a coffee grinder. Any of these hand drills you can buy for life, but this one from the 1940s, which could easily be from the 1990s, and you couldn't tell. These are definitely buy it for life. These are, yeah, I've used these before. These things aren't going anywhere as long as you don't let the joints get all rusty and stuff. A pocket watch from the 1880s. Really, really long time ago. Look at this thing. That's pretty cool. This is a Gillette gold-plated razor with a gold blade. Oh, it's so pretty. It's all gold. And this was apparently a special thing for a while that Gillette did. This is an ancient stapler from, I believe, like the 1950s. And the poster claims it works better than basically any new stapler they've tried. A level transit from the 1920s that's still in use every day. I bet that stand's been replaced though. But still, pretty impressive. We've got a sword from the 1800s. Of course, the guard has been replaced. The guard is from the 1900s. But a blade from the 1800s. Ancient blade. Pretty cool stuff. This is a receipt from a sharpening stone that was bought in 1941. If you can kind of see it. Not really. Oh boy, this handwriting is really nice, but it's very, very faded. And of course, you can't forget the ancient IBM keyboards. These things were built like a tank. These things are not breaking anytime soon. This is some dude's great-great-grandfather's wallet from who knows when, 1800s probably. Still in daily use. The post on this said, I cut my own hair, so I bought $25 cordless clippers. They broke. Replaced them with nicer $50 cordless clippers, and the battery died. Now I have this Andis Junior Deluxe from 1965. Better, quieter, and a closer cut than I've had at $1.49 at, I believe, a thrift store. Yeah, a thrift store. These things are ancient. This is a toolbox from the 70s that someone used for their entire career, and someone picked it up for a few $100, and they're going to use it for their career. Pretty cool. Little Pyrex bowls that were a present from 1970, and they are used daily. And another thing that's also posted to the subreddit a lot are those Pyrex measuring cups, because those things are built like a tank as well. Those things do not break very easily at all. A waffle iron from the 1920s that still works flawlessly. and that looks pretty good. Although a lot of people are recommending that it replaces the cable because that cable, ooh, it's a little dubious because it is extremely old and not necessarily insulated correctly. So, and it's, you know, not made of rubber, it's made of fabric. So if it caught fire, it would kind of explode. So, not a good thing. A USSR made stopwatch from a long time ago. Well, it's USSR, so probably a while ago. Pretty cool. And finally, as our last entry for this video, we have the 97-year-old Waterman 52 pen. Ancient pen. Looks amazing. It's, you know, not a ballpoint pen or anything, but it is absolutely phenomenal looking. It's a work of art. It's a complete work of art. It looks beautiful. Anyway, along with the buy it for life mentality, there is something that I've heard Adam Savage say, that I've heard people in the comments of this subreddit and posts on the subreddit about: buy all the tools and things at the cheapest price you can find, right? You'll find out very quickly what you use the most. So the entire premise comes down to spend a lot of money on the things you're going to use all the time, and don't spend a lot of money on the things that you're basically never going to use. You may think you want those $300 hiking boots that would last 100 years, but at the same time, if you don't really go hiking, then you probably don't need them. You oftentimes hear old people saying, oh, they don't make things like they used to, and as far as mainstream items go, no, they don't, but if you look in the right places, you can find companies manufacturing things at a very high quality, but the price is so high that the very, very few people are going to end up buying them. The mainstream bar for quality in the 20s was, you know, higher than it is now, where you have factories run with robots manufacturing 1,000 items per second. Back when even the cheapest item was still handmade, that's when even the lowest end stuff was still good. But you can still get tools and items and products that are just as good, and most of the time way better than they were back in the day. You just have to invest the money into it, and you can totally do it. And if you calculate it with inflation, those $100 boots that you bought in the 1970s that are still kicking today and have never fallen apart, well, those boots, adjusted for inflation, would be $662. So yeah, they better last almost 50 years if you're paying that much. And I'm sure if you buy boots today that cost around $600, you'll be getting some pretty good boots. I don't know how long this video's been. Probably 8 minutes. I'm gonna guess 8 minutes. That's gonna do it for my video this week. Hope you enjoyed it. A little different. Leave ideas in the comments below. Maybe I'll do another music-themed one next week because I love music-themed videos. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.